everybody, welcome! My name is Rubydung. Welcome to today's episode. As you can see, I'm over here at the main base. There's a mushroom that ventured all the way over here, which is interesting. But I'm just doing a little bit of work over here. Just did a little bit of stuff over at the lodge. Not too much, nothing that's going to be noticeable. But I've done a little bit of work off camera here. And I've just gotten a few more farmed resources. But as I was going around and doing stuff, I wound up having a bit of an idea. So, as some of you may know, there is this project I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fill out the little coastal area. I built this little lodge to help with that as kind of like this little viewing house. I still need to put glass into it, but I can come all the way up here, look all the way up at the top, and I'll get a good view of everything I've built. But this is part of the projects for me to actually kind of build more things around the kind of coastal area, because I've been wanting to fill this out for a long time, well before episode 100, so I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I had a bit of an idea of something to put out over here, because, as you can see, the base is naturally just expanding on that side of the coastal area. That I don't need to do too much for. The base is just going to naturally expand in that direction. I don't want to cover that hill over there, because I feel that hill just looks so much like old school Minecraft that I don't want to obscure it. Like, that feels so beginning of this world. Same goes for this hill over here. I don't want to put too much on the hill itself, though I've kind of naturally obscured it just through time, really. But I've had a little bit of an idea to expand off in, how did you get up here? To expand off in this direction with a very old idea. Now, this is going to be something that is most people are not going to get. I should just flat out not even pretend people are going to get this, because this is in reference to something very old. Only something if you've been watching from the beginning of the series, really. Because back in episode 1, I created this world. It was for the Halloween update. The 1.2 alpha, I believe it was. Alpha 1.2 to be more precise. I've got to get the ordering properly. So it was for Alpha 1.2, and that was the Halloween update. So things like the Nether just came out, but also to a minor extent, pumpkins also came out, which were really cool at that time, because you just walk around the world and you would randomly find a whole bunch of pumpkins. And during that time, I wound up, making a second world to kind of test things in. So this was basically for me to kind of like test different types of farms, what would work, what I would be interested in making. If I had like a design for something, I wanted to make sure that it at least had legs before I tried building it. It really depended on what it was in the world, but at some point I wound up making, this would have been once again, I believe this probably was the beginning of beta or so, I wound up making something called Pumpkin Laboratories. It's in reference to Aperture Laboratories in the event you know anything about Portal. I'm kind of a Portal fan if you haven't been able to determine. But what it was, I just found some hill like this, and I wound up digging into it a little bit. I think this will probably be a good platform for an example. But what I would wind up doing is I wound up building something like this, going around here, break this torch, and I designed basically what was a little ledge, and then, after I built the ledge, I would trim it with, I'm trying to do this properly, I wound up trimming it with pumpkins, and what I would wind up doing is I would do something like this. And then I would have to, I'm fairly sure I still, boop, 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 have to, nope, I completely failed at that. Do this, and just slab here, here. But yeah, I would wind up doing something like this. Nope, not like that. I would wind up adding a little bit of a trim to the whole thing, so that way I could get a little bit of an extra, like, makes it look a little bit more interesting, but it's basically like a flat platform that I would wind up building stuff into. Technically, I also mined up the side of the hill, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm just kind of wanting to build this little thing here, because this is actually a fairly big part of this world. This is where I wound up coming up with a lot of designs and different ideas for this base. So I'm just kind of wanting to build this little thing to start with. I have built this whole thing off by 1 block, so I now have to redo the whole thing. But yeah, that is the little thing that I've done, that I'm just kind of wanting to build this in very quickly. No big deal. I think it's going to be quicker if I do it like this, and then like this. Aha. Boom, like that, and then technically I would mine out this part, here. Boom. Alright. But yeah, oh, there's a sheer cliff there. But yes, this is a very old thing of my base. Mined out this, well, not even of my base, really. Boom, boom, and alright. Aha, now I finished that. And then I just gotta I don't even need to put the torches back in because I have jack-o'-lanterns lighting this up. And I probably want to mine out some of this. But yeah, this is just a very small thing I wanted to make. There would also be a fence pillar here that I technically would have to place it up here and then mine dirt down. But I don't have to do it anymore. I can just stack them up. But yeah, this was kind of what this was. It was basically just a small platform. It's a second viewing platform as well. But what I'm wanting to do now is in this area here, I want to mine out some of this. I'm wanting to make an actual pumpkin laboratories, like an actual, like, bigger reference to that other than just that small platform, because that is what it was like looking down from here. It's probably not even noticeable unless it's nighttime out. It's kind of, oh yeah, it's noticeable. In which case, yeah. I fell in a cave. It's not even a cave, it's just a hole. What the heck? Alright then. But yeah, I'm also wanting to go over here and put in the actual full length of what I'm thinking for this. Alright, I've done a little bit of construction. I've been using a couple of jack-o'-lanterns around here, and I hope you can see what I'm hoping for here. I am attempting to make the true pumpkin laboratories, an absolutely enormous pumpkin. So I've gotten one layer down here. I am having this here for reference. I am hoping to use any part that is actual pumpkin, that be the actual, basically just regular old pumpkins. And any part that's glowing, I'm hoping to treat as actual jack-o'-lanterns, and any part that's dark as still pumpkin. So I'm having to use this as a reference. I'm building at a 4:1 scale, so for every 1 pixel is going to wind up being 1 block, even though I guess that's 4 times 16, so a 1:64 scale, I guess is more accurate. So this is going to be very tall, very big pumpkin, but this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be an enormous thing. So I do have to build up another layer of this because this is just the first layer. I'm not going to wind up encountering an actual thing that will adjust the pixel art for another layer, I believe. Yeah, because there's still 2 layers of pumpkin, and then we get to the actual face. So I have to build up another 2 layers like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then build this up as I go along. So I'm going to continue putting in these layers. I'm going to need significantly more jack-o'-lanterns, so I'm going to probably wind up dipping into my pumpkin supply a little bit more and try to see how many layers I can get done today. I also have to build it like this because, as you can see, can't place that here. I have to do it like this. So I am going to continue going along here, putting in all the jack-o'-lanterns, and I'll be back with you guys, hopefully with this layer nice and done. Alright, I've done a little bit more building here off camera, and I think this is a good showing of what I'm wanting to do with this. I'm kind of wanting to build the dark spots of the jack-o'-lantern, these little black bits here with actual pumpkin, the actual light here with actual jack-o'-lantern, all the pumpkin, like the pumpkin, with actual pumpkin. So with that, I can actually get a little bit of a face going. So it's going to wind up going around here. That's going to have to be filled up there. This is going to wind up being very tall, like very tall. And I've already exhausted a very large supply of pumpkin doing this. I still have a lot to go through, but this is kind of what I wanted to get started with. I wanted to get this part of the kind of project up started with today's episode. I need to do a little bit of terrain work over here, because I don't like it floating. I am wanting to break these here so I can remember that I actually do need to make sure to fix the floating. I can't just leave it here. And also I do kind of want to walk under this thing at some point, because if I wind up on the other side of this wall while building it, I want to be able to actually walk to the other side without walking around the whole thing. So that's just going to be a little bit more helpful. But yeah, I might scale this down slightly. I'm not sure yet. I kind of want to get your guys' opinions on this project, because this is part of building alongside the base here. This thing's going to wind up being absolutely enormous. It might wind up being taller than the base, but it's not going to be bigger than the base, just because how big the base is. But this is kind of what I'm thinking. I might scale this down from 4 to 3, but I want to get your guys' opinions on it before I do anything drastic, hence why I'm not doing too much of the pixel work yet. I want to hear what you guys really think of, like, the actual idea of a massive kind of pixel arty pumpkin build, because I'm also planning on doing interior stuff for it as well. I'm kind of wanting to do a little bit more of redstone stuff on the inside. Kind of just have like this free floating space, I guess. It's kind of hard to describe what I'm kind of thinking for the inside of this thing. But I kind of want to gauge your guys' opinions, because this is a bit of a weird project for this world. I gotta do weird projects in this world, and this is a particularly weird one. So I want to kind of get your guys' ideas of what you think about it before I just immediately jump into, oh, I'm going to make this big weird pumpkin build without, like, really is consulting what you guys think of it, because I could just wind up getting rid of it completely next episode. But speaking of next episode, that's probably going to wind up being it for today's episode. I'm going to wind up probably doing a little, if you guys wind up liking the idea of the pumpkin, I'm probably going to do a little bit more work on it between episodes, but that's probably going to wind up being it for today's episode nonetheless. So I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you have anything you want to see me work on here in the future, be sure to tell me. It's the only way I can really get an idea of what you guys like, what you guys don't, what you want to see me work on, what you guys don't want to see me work on. Because there's a million projects in this world, and I can work on any of them. I really like working on projects in this world, and I kind of want to hear what you guys want to hear me work on. But with all of that said, I do hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. That's gonna be it. I'll be seeing you guys here in the next one. So long. See ya. Bye.